All right, so let me tell you why the name of the podcast is Mow Trappin Podcast. And if you had checked it out or got a chance to tune into it, it's every Tuesday night here on YouTube, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, the reason why I call it Mow Trappin is, if you don't know or you haven't been following the channel, I used to be in the streets heavy. And it was a time when I didn't know. I ain't gonna say I didn't know, but it was a time I felt like that I couldn't leave the streets. It sounds easier said than done, but you have to be living that life to understand it, guys. And leaving the streets to start a business is one of the most powerful journeys that I've ever done in my life. It's given me a chance to inspire other people to get out of the streets, and it's also helped me with just health-wise, mental-wise. It's a lot of stress when you're doing illegal stuff. And once I got into the lawn care business, I got on the other side of this. It's still stressful, but I don't have to worry about police kicking in my door anymore. So, one of the main things that made me get out of the streets, man, and reflecting on it back was my children was getting older. And I know it say, hey, Bones, you was out there doing the most. You had kids and stuff. Hey, man, you don't know where life will have you at sometimes. And it sounds messed up, but I was in a point in my life where I was having to do what I had to do by any means. I ended up getting a felony on my record. And before I got my felony off my record, man, it was so hard to try to get a job. Go ask anybody what a felony, how it is, and they'll let you know. But most definitely, my kids was getting older, man, and I could not see myself getting caught up in a situation where I would be gone out of my children's life for 5 or 10 or 15 years over a little money. And basically, I can get out here and wake up every day, get to mowing, get to edging like I'm doing right here, and I can get that same type of money. And so, when you choose to become legally business-wise, it just changes the life. It changes your future. Because what I was doing, I had a future that was headed nowhere fast. I was going nowhere fast. We all know how it goes. You heard the old stories. You're either gonna die or you're gonna go to jail. I've never seen anybody make it out of the streets, man. I've never seen anyone make it. And most of the people I know, that's what happened. They end up dying or they end up going to jail. And I got guys my age, they're still going in and out of jail on the same thing that we was going to jail for back 10, 15, 20 years ago, guys. So, you don't want to be there. You can get out of the streets, start you something legal, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be overnight. You're going to have to be ready to put in the work to get onto that other side. You know, and when you're doing this, you got to consider the industries that you're trying to go into. I decided to go into lawn care. And the reason why I started to go into lawn care, because I was so used to being in the streets, getting money and collecting money every day. Lawn maintenance and lawn care was the first thing that popped into my mind to where, okay, I could still get paid on a daily. And I could actually put myself in a position to make anywhere between $200 to $1,000 a day. And that's where I wanted to be at. So that's why I decided to go with lawn care. So when I got out of the streets, I actually worked a job for about 2 years as a janitor. And I worked a job as a janitor. I saved every single dime I had, and that helped me get into my business. I did not want to take illegal money and start a business. And then I get started, and next thing I know, here come a knock at the door, and everything I built is gone just like that. And so what you're doing whenever you get out of the streets and you go into this legal business, it gives you a chance to build your own brand. You get to determine how you want people to see you. People see me only one way, and it's still a lot of people. They're getting used to me mowing now. I'm known for mowing grass now. I'm known for doing lawn care now. They don't even remember the days. Well, I wouldn't say they don't remember, but very rarely do the days of me being in the streets get brought up anymore to me. That's the thing of the past. So when you get out, you're building your brand. You have to be consistent when it comes to building this brand. It's going to be discouraging. It's not going to be easy as the street money. But if you get the proper people around you, you get the right mentor, and you do some education first, you can actually find ways to make your situation a little easier than mine was. Took me 5 years to get to this right here, guys. If I would have knew what I knew now, I probably could have saved myself 2 years. I'd be in my third year doing what I'm doing now. And so when you get into a business, man, you get to learn the basics of it, and you're getting educated on business, the structure, and the finances of the business. These are skills that you're going to learn. Once you learn these skills, you can take these skills and use them in the field. And so it takes you from a guy who had a street skill set into a guy now who has a skill set to get him out here, get some legal money, and make a living for his family, and don't have to worry about doors getting kicked in and going back and forth to jail. Network and collaborate, man, when you're coming into a business. Same way in the streets, except you can't trust a lot of people. So when you get into this, and once guys see what you're trying to do, you'll find that it's a group of guys that actually want to help you, and they're there for you when they know you're trying to do the right thing. So when you get another thing, when you're ready to jump off, just focus on your growth. Right now, what you're doing when you're coming out those streets, coming into what you're doing now, you got to focus on growth. You got to focus on reinvestment, and you got to focus on some diversification. You're going to need some skills, and everything that you make for the first few years in business, you're going to put it back into the business. It's the same thing as in the streets, guys. You're going to buy something, you're going to flip it, you're going to buy it again, you're going to flip it, you're going to buy it again, you're going to flip it. That's the same thing. So literally, that's where Mow Trappin comes from. I took what I was doing in the streets in the trap, and I applied the same type of hustle to the lawn service. And that's where Mow Trappin podcast came from, and that's how it was created. I literally took it from the trap to Mow Trappin. Another thing, which is the last main point, when you leave the streets and you get into doing something legal, it's going to give you a chance to empower others. You know, it's going to get a chance to save lives. Since I've started this, man, I maybe got about 4, 5, 6, 10 guys out of the streets that tell me I'll never look back. So I went from the trap, and now I'm Mow Trappin. Tune in Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. on YouTube.